All right, welcome back, guys. This is the Crypto Jewels channel live stream. This is episode 7. Today we're going to do an update on the ShibaSwap. It has been 7 days live, and if you saw my first stream on the ShibaSwap, which was episode 6, and you guys jumped in, you guys made some good money. But today I'm going to do an quick update and review some of the guides of how to make more money on the ShibaSwap. So the Certik Audit is now back, came back yesterday, and this was what a lot of the people were waiting for before they jumped in. But those of you that were risk takers went ahead and got in on the ShibSwap even before this was fully certified. So a 92 score, that is pretty awesome. You can see here that there were several findings that have already been rectified. It says 97% have already been resolved. So the devs are working hard to continually to make ShibSwap better and work out those bugs. So give them credit for that. And then another thing, really cool part of this Certik website, it is going to continually monitor the ShibSwap platform. And right now, you see 766,000 transactions have already occurred in 7 days on the ShibaSwap platform. That is amazing. It's a slight graph here that shows over time in the last 7 days. And we have currently 207,000 users using the ShibaSwap. As a comparison, I think there is like 584, really closing in on that 600K mark total wallets holding Shib right now. That means basically about a third of Shib holders are already using the ShibaSwap. So that's really cool that we've seen a mass adoption of the ShibaSwap only within the first 7 days. So who knows where we're going to go. But another update, look at this, 540% still. 519 for the leash bone. 519 down here for the Shib bone. Now, these two pairs did get added yesterday when it originally dropped. The leash bone and the Shib bone were not here. So those added, they started really high and they came down. A lot of people moved their liquidity out of some of these other pairs and moved them over to this, kind of just balanced out these APR returns. But if you are in here, look at this. This is in only 48 hours. I already woofed about 48 hours ago and I've already accumulated 75 bone on this pair alone. And then I do have some more liquidity pairs down here in the ETH GRT earning not nearly as much, 54%. I mean, I'm not complaining about 54% return, but again, in comparison to 500%. So I have already almost 90. That's about at the current price of bone, $5.12. That is almost $500 in the last 2 days, 48 hours. I already woofed. You can see down here 121. Now I did want to explain this to you guys a little bit more. When you woof this, you will have to pay a transfer fee to pull it out. It's not auto compounding. So that is the only one of the big drawbacks in my mind about staking or providing liquidity pairs. Now the staking is auto compounding, but the digging with the liquidity pairs is not. So you will have to woof them, bring them over, and 67% of your whatever you woof will show up here. Okay, and you will not, it will be time locked. You can see on my screen that is 178 more days. I mean, it starts out at 180, so you can see I did that almost 2 days ago. So that's not even 2 days ago that I've earned that 90 bone. So that's closer to 40 hours I've earned 100 bone. So if I were to woof this right now, only 33% of that, this plus the other 25 in the other pool, it's about 100. I would get another 33 bone to work with in my wallet, but the other 66, 67 would come to this unwoofable and be time locked. Now it shows you the next time locking. There's stacked behind there. It is assumed that if I were to woof again, this would not reset. This clock would still count down. Okay, but there would be another one behind it not shown. So I'm not sure if in future versions of this that you'll be able to see exactly the timeline, but right now it's just showing you the most recent woof that you're going to be able to have access to. But let's just step back for a second. If you're new to the ShibaSwap, this is it. Dig, fetch, bury. You can migrate other liquidity pools over. If you're familiar with liquidity pools, that will be an easy tool for you to use and bring that over. Right now, Pancake Swap, I wanted to show you this. The highest return you can get on Pancake Swap as providing a liquidity pool is just over 400% on this random Chess USDC pool. And as comparison, again, back over here to the Wolf, and you can see in the liquidity pairs here, we're still holding 500% on 3 separate pools, plus several others that are in triple digits as well. So that's really strong, and I'm really happy to see that the bone price here is still holding over $5. We did, if you go over to the bone price, we did have a dip down below 4.5, and it quickly came back up. This was right around the time, right in here when this came back up, this was right around the time when the additional pairs were released. The leash bone and the Shib bone were released, so more people were using bone and adding to those liquidity pools. So that drove the price up a little bit, and then we've since stabilized just over $5. So that's really strong to be seeing the bone worth more than $5, and therefore when I am accumulating bone in here, 75 bone and plus the other 25, I mean that's $500 in bone at the current price. Now the price could go up, could go down, we don't know, but that is the liquidity pool advantage, is we are getting massive returns. Now, still don't know what the berry, and over here in the berry returns are. It's going to come out soon. We're assuming after the first cycle, which is yet another 4 more days before the full cycle finishes, and we will probably see the APY announced around that time. You can see I have some Shib buried here. I plan to bury some of my earned bone here as well. So just so you know, burying is much easier. You do not have to have anything to pair it with. You can just get your bone, get your Shib, your bone, or your leash, and just bury it and basically stake it or unstake it anytime. You click bury, you select 100%, and boom, you hit the stake button. Very simple. It will come in here, and you can unstake it anytime. If I were to hit unstake here and hit max 100%, approve, it'll toggle an approve button on my MetaMask. It only costs me $2 right now to do that. That's really cheap. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and reject that, but I'm going to let that sit here and continue to earn rewards. This is going to be compounded. The only drawback about the dig and providing liquidity here is you would have to woof your returns and then reallocate them into if you wanted to add them back in, or what I think might be the better idea is to take your bone and add it to the berry. That way you don't have to add any more pairing and you have less transaction fees. But you do what you want, guys. Definitely do your own research. You could get wrecked in crypto if you're not doing your own research on a regular basis. So there was one other thing I wanted to discuss with you. Speaking of getting wrecked, impermanent loss. Okay, if you're new to providing liquidity to a decentralized exchange, a DEX, like ShibSwap, like Pancake Swap, like Uniswap, like all these other decentralized exchanges that are coming out, if you're providing liquidity on those platforms, you are taking a risk. There's no reward without risk, guys. Always understand that. There's never any reward without risk. It's always a risk-reward relationship, and you need to understand that before you move forward. So I'm not providing you any financial advice. I'm just showing you what I'm doing, and in hopes that you will understand and educate yourself and make the best decision for you and your family. Now, again, back to this liquidity providers risk. So this is what is known as impermanent loss, meaning it's not permanent unless you actually realize it, of course. So what can happen is if the price, say you're pairing ETH and bone, like I am right now, over here in the ShibaSwap, in the dig, I already provided liquidity and I moved my tokens over to the WOOF. In this section here, you deposit it right here. Very simple. You hit max deposit, boom, and then it's now deposited here. You see I have 5.8 LP tokens in this pool. Okay, that means I have ETH to bone in this pool. So if in this scenario, if ETH were to skyrocket in price and I'm continuing to provide liquidity, I could potentially lose out on some of that price gain. Now, that means ETH would basically have to go from 2,000 right now, what it's sitting at, all the way up to like 10,000 to hit this 500% mark. And I would potentially miss out on 25% of that gain. Now, I'm still earning rewards along the way. And that I'm only going to lose that 25% of that gain if I actually pull out my liquidity tokens at that time. If ETH goes up to 10,000 and then back down, and I don't move my liquidity tokens anywhere, I'm just sitting there gaining on all those all that movement back and forth. So as a liquidity provider, you are hoping for a slow, gradual rise, not a massive spike, which is definitely more possible, more realistic for the ETH rise. Now, Shib might spike, you never know. Other tokens have the potential to spike really hard. So those keep in mind, those might have a higher risk of an impermanent loss scenario that could impact your overall gains. So this is comparing whether you just held the Shib and ETH versus holding it in a liquidity pool. Now, it doesn't consider the rewards you're getting, because the rewards you're getting are very variable, highly variable. In fact, you see, when we first made this video 7 days ago, when ShibaSwap first came out, this was 13,000, then 8,000, then dropped down to 2,000 return, and now it's down to 540% return. I'm not complaining. It has dropping, and it's going to continue to drop as more people jump in. And also another update, we have $1.51 billion locked in the ShibaSwap, guys. That actually has plateaued a little bit since in the first couple days, it hit 1.5 and it has kind of plateaued. A reason being is a lot of people have their Shib locked up in the Crypto.com app. Unfortunately, that means when you do that in the Crypto.com app, you do have to select a time horizon, and it's locked in for that period, whether you selected 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, or a year on the Crypto.com app. You can't actually pull it out no matter what you wanted to do, no matter if something changes, which I never do that, guys. If you never lock in your stuff for a time period. That's another benefit of staking on the ShibaSwap. You can unstake at any time. There's no time lock scenario. Now, there is a time lock scenario on your returns when you're providing liquidity over here. Like I said, the WOOF, if I WOOF, I only get 33%. So I'm only getting 33% of my current earned rewards. The other 67% is time locked. So that's the only part of the time locking scenario on the ShibaSwap. However, your original investment, these 5.8 liquidity tokens, I can go ahead and withdraw. Look, if I hit max here and withdraw, I have no restrictions on any time. I can withdraw this, and it costs $9. If I hit reject and try again, withdraw, it'll give me a different number, guys. So always $9.01 instead of $9.25. Always double check this a couple times before you actually do it, so you can find the lower price. Don't pay the high fees. I find that it's cheaper to do it in the middle of the night or on a Sunday afternoon when less people are actively trading or actively moving their money around. Literally, the gas fees on the Ethereum network are lower. So you'll see that change significantly. You saw earlier it was only $2, now it's $9. So it's a big difference. Definitely don't pay the $9, pay the $2 if you can. I guess if you're in a time rush scenario, you don't have that choice. But that was kind of cool. The Certik came out with the 92 rating. It's amazing. That's a great rating. We have 205,000 users already using the ShibaSwap and 766,000 transactions. It's really good news for the ShibaSwap, guys. I wanted to give you that quick update and show you that again, the bone price is holding above $5. It's also really good news. And this Pancake swap is a competitor of ShibaSwap, obviously, and it's been around for a lot longer than 6 days. They have 4,700 different pairs, okay, of different things that you can pair and provide liquidity. Obviously, that makes it a better swap from the standpoint that they have more cryptos that you can actually trade back and forth. You can swap back and forth, way more options. But the goal of the ShibaSwap, if you read the Wolf papers, is to provide way more than just the 19 that we currently have. I think it's like 19 different pairs right now. It started off with 17. We've already added 2, the leash bone and the Shib bone, and we're going to continue to add more. The goal is 500 different pairs before the end of 2021. That's far from the 4,700 that Pancake has, but again, that is in a short amount of time. We have between now and the end of 2021. So as you see more pairs pop in here, guys, take advantage of those when the APR is high. Jump in. You might have to pay a few fees, but it'll definitely be worth it, in my opinion. Definitely just my opinion. It's worth it to move over to the higher APR, even if it is just for a short term. Like I said, this was at 13,000 when it first came out. I mean, it wasn't at 13,000 for very long, but it was. So if you were there at 13,000, you definitely got your money back on the transfer fees, even if you had to move it out very quickly after that. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Definitely like and share and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. There are more decentralized exchanges coming out, including the Sunday swap for the Cardano project. I'll be doing a whole nother video on that as it approaches being launched. And this video was just about the ShibaSwap update. Lots of good things happening here, guys. And you can see that I have 121 already unwoofed. or woofed that is unaccessible. That means that was only 67% of what I woofed, and I yet already have another 76. It's already gone up since I've been streaming. Today, already gone up one bone, $5 since I've been streaming just now in the last 10 minutes. So this is real. This is real rewards. These APRs are not going to last. Again, the Pancake swap, the highest one possible is only 400, and most of the major pairs are closer to 200 to 100. If you go down this line, it quickly goes down to only 2-digit return. But there's 4,700 pairs, guys. So as more pairs get added over here to the Shib swap, we are going to continue to see the APR change and fluctuate, people moving their liquidity around, and we all stand a chance to be earning a lot of those transfer fees when you're bearing. So if you have any questions, please leave comments in this live stream. I'm happy to answer them. And if I miss something, please let me know. But again, right now, 513 on the bone. That is really strong. I already earned $500 on this Shib swap in the last 48 hours. Amazing, guys. All right, take care and be safe. God bless.